Yesterday was not as good nor as bad as we usually envision it to be. It is preferable primarily because it's predictable. And the comfort of what has been will always be preferable to the challenge of what is not yet. And can we tell the truth in here today? There were things back then that we didn't like, barely tolerated, and couldn't stand. But nostalgically in our memory, all of those elements get an extreme makeover. But I wonder, have I got any people here today who are honest enough to admit, looking back, that there are some things you came through that even if you could, you wouldn't go back to? See, Israel forgot that they had been enslaved. They forgot the whip of the taskmasters. They forgot the pain of oppression and how many of their loved ones had died in the mud pits of bondage. The only thing they remembered was the free food. And the tragic truth is that often when we look back, we forget that some of the stuff we went through, some of the stuff we came out of, we don't ever want to see again, because somebody 2 seats over from you can still remember the pain and the hurt and the wounds and the trauma and the scars and the struggle and the storm. And while you might look back, the truth is you aren't trying to go back. And I know I've got a witness here, because the same thing is true even in our nation. We are afflicted in this nation with what I want to call historical amnesia. We are quick to forget how we got to where we are, where we came from, and how we got there. And that's why even 2 years into it, I still pray every day for our president, because he didn't start 2 wars, he inherited them. He didn't start the budget crisis, he inherited it. He didn't unhinge the economy. It was shaken loose from its moorings long before he ever showed up. See, we are quick to forget. As soon as somebody offers us a little tea with no sugar and no honey, we forget all about where we were and where we came from. And there are forces and faces that want you to forget. In fact, they are counting on your short-term memory loss. They want you to forget that Johnny still can't read, and Mary still can't write, and Mama's still struggling to cope, and Daddy's still trying to get off dope. They want you to forget about that cradle to prison pipeline that's running full steam at the expense of children trapped at the intersection of race and poverty. They want you to be immersed in the irrelevant and mired in the mediocrity, so that you will forget the struggle of your ancestors for a better life, and the blood that they shed to give you the right to vote, and the punishment they endured so that you could get a quality education. Don't forget your story, because there are some things we came out of that we really don't want to go back to. Don't ever forget your history, because your history is hooked to your destiny. You'll never know where you're going if you don't first understand where you've been. And somebody up in here right now is a witness that God has found you somewhere real bad and relocated you to someplace real good, and it's only by the grace of God.